Hello, everybody. Welcome to our webinar sessions, PlayBox Neo. This is our 10th webinar, so we have a milestone today. I hope you had a wonderful summer, and we're going to continue with this webinar sessions this fall. As you all know, we are expecting to see you at the NAB in Las Vegas this coming month, but unfortunately, it was canceled. So we hope to give you all the information we had to share with you at this trade show today, and we'll keep on doing this and hope to see you, of course, at the CapSat and IBC show later this year. Okay, so let me start with what's new, what's old, what's cool and exciting. First, we want to announce our media gateway, which is an extension, which is a solution workflow, if you will, for our new suite. And I'll go into this in details. You've seen since the introduction of PlayBox Neo suite, we had number of additional features, functionalities, improvements, and so on done. So we'll go into details what this media gateway solution is. Also, I would like to recap a little bit of a couple of features that we had for our Airbox new product this spring. We announced it. Loudness normalization, which allows you to normalize the output of your playout server to the desired target level, like -23 loudness units or -24, depends on what part of the world you're in. And this works on the playlist inside Airbox, and also works on live streams. For example, I'll switch to my live stream. And I'll open the second instance of Airbox, which I'm using to feed this live stream. And if you see, if I boost the levels, you see here where the levels here went into way hot. You see that the output level stays absolutely within the norm. So this is a very, very cool set it and forget it type of feature, but helps you produce compliant output, compliant stream with the regulations for some broadcasters, but pretty much is very nice to have, because there is nothing more annoying than commercials getting way too loud compared to the other content you're broadcasting and so on. So this is a great feature. I'll go over a couple of the features we introduced for Airbox, so we'll get this out of the way and we'll focus on all the new things inside new suite. Another feature we showed was using alternative audio channels by using external audio wave files. So if you put video file and you put audio wave file with the same name, and you follow the format of a _ENG for English and so on for the different language descriptors, it will, if you have English inside the file, it will replace it with the external file. But if you add, let's say, a couple more languages to a movie that has only English, and if you add a couple of WAV files that are, let's say, French and Russian, for example, they will be added. Sort of, you'll have the three different languages, three different audio streams coming out, which is very cool way without intervening into like in post-production to replace audio or to add more tracks inside the video file. You can have multi-channel, multi-language audio, I would say, and this is done automatically just by adding the files with the same name as the video file _language descriptor. So this helps tremendously with busy workflow and quick last-minute fixes, or no need to go to post-production, always done in the play outside. Another feature is you can have still pictures. So I can put JPEG picture in the playlist, and if I put and I can give it a duration, sort of, it will automatically act as a piece of still video. But if you put WAV file with the same name as the picture, again, you have music, sort of, you have a music video with a still picture. Again, very useful feature to do some kind of still frame announcements and have a little bit of music, use it as a breaker between parts of your playlist or so on. Very cool feature. I'll go into these things in more details in some how-to workshops that we're planning, because as you see, our product's getting more and more features, and we want to kind of give you the best possible tools to use in your workflow. So we'll be releasing also a bunch of videos in our YouTube channel, so please keep an eye there. Sort of how-to with all these new products that we're presenting. We'll have a series of how-to videos, so this will make things much easier and clearer for you. Another thing, please, if you have any specific question about your workflow, my colleagues all around the world, talk to your sales representative or our broadcast engineers that will help you to set things, to set specific workflow to suit best your needs. So that's always been available, as you know, and we love to hear from you. Okay, so let's go to PlayBox News Suite. As you know, since we introduced it last year, originally it was sort of centered around ingest, capture suite, we called it. But it grew way beyond that point of just being a solution to do ingest. First, what you see right now, this is a web browser that I'm using. And I can control a local server or server somewhere on the network. So I can see here different servers. Currently, this is one server. But I can have multiple servers connected to my account, and this way I can control number of ingest channels. You can have your manual channel, you can have your scheduled capture, but also what's new for this fall, it's compliance. We've been asked for this feature for a very long time, so now we have compliance in our capture suite. What does it give you? You have again, as I explained before, I'll just briefly go over it. You have capture templates, ingest templates, where you specify what format, what codec, and so on. Primary and secondary you can do for the normal type of ingest. Primary and secondary, so you can capture in two formats at the same time. You can do auto transfer. Again, you defining it into the template. What happened with the files after they get captured here on the server? You can specify to be copied to some other storage, let's say for your post-production division or somewhere else, or to be moved, which means we'll free up the ingest storage on the server where you're ingesting, and it will move it once the file is finished. It will move it to another storage location, server, computer, anywhere you described. So compliance, it's the new thing. For example, you can set how many days. For example, in our countries, 90 days is the required by law compliance recording. So you can, your storage will be filled up to 90 days, and after 90 days we'll start erasing, of course. And you can say the auto split in what chunks you want it. We can set it up to 1 hour chunks. For example, we have a template here, what format to ingest for the compliance. Also, we have auto transfer template. So I want after every piece of every split file is being generated automatically to be copied, transferred, or anything like that. We can see this templates. We can see these templates auto transfer templates. For example, this is my compliance template, and what does it look like is I give some name so I recognize it. What is the operation? Copy or move, as I described to you before. And I can tell him that this is the root folder where I'm targeting to transfer. And then I can put a sort of a mask, a template. How do I want the subsequent folders, files to be organized? So I want to be the ingest title, which will be, let's say, whatever I set to be my compliance channel, the name of the TV channel, and then the year, month, day, and each day will be captured in a separate folder, and we'll have the 1 hour files inside this. So, or we can go in and put even more conditions here. It's completely free to design it any way suits your needs. So this is the auto transfer template that works for any type of ingest, including compliance. So if I go here, you have, of course, burn in time and date, and you can select, this is in the template for ingest. You describe, let's say, for example, now if I start ingesting, as you can see, I started ingesting immediately. Of course, I'm not going to wait for 1 hour. I'll generate split here. And as you can see, I have all the information about the files. I will stop recording, of course. I want to take a look at this file. As you can see here, it says I1 because that's the name of the server, the channel that the ingest, the way I described it. And I have the date and time, and you can see anywhere I move, it moves. It's time-stamped. It has all the attributes needed for compliance. So much about compliance. Oh, for example, if I want to delete these files, it deletes the whole bunch of sessions. So it's not individual files to be deleted from here. I want to clear this buffer, let's say, of 90 days. I will, when I say delete, it deletes all, because this is how it's organized in blocks of video compliance recordings. So there's a lot of other features we've discussed on the ingest, scheduled, manual, and so on. But again, please check our previous webinars. If you have more questions, send us an email, give us a call. We'll do, again, more how-to for parts of this system, so you get more and more information and get familiar with the system. So another new feature was alarm. While we're monitoring in the multi-viewer, basically, I have all the inputs and outputs of the system, which acts as a hub where I can see all my inputs and outputs points in the system. Either these are tracks that I'm going to ingest, either they just, like, for example, here you see my Airbox 1, Airbox 2. These are the two local machines I have. And I will show you now, this is Airbox 2 here. And if I press stop, the picture froze and immediately freeze detected started the alarm. The alarm can be audible or just visual. I can on off the signal or just deselect the sound. But again, because I'm feeding the server 2, this is the live input that I'm monitoring, and this is live input into the instance 1. So now you see it shows me that there is a problem with the signal. In the moment when I restore it, everything gets restored. Very, very useful feature when you're monitoring. Also, we added this enter full screen, which absolutely fills up the whole screen, so you can see more sources. You can select which sources you want, which inputs, outputs you can watch on the monitor, on the multi-viewer. Again, very convenient to see the audio levels, and again, the alarms, which is great new feature. So why I mention Media Gateway? Because if we go to our input outputs, before we've seen this, The services, that means NDI, source, or Blackmagic, or object card, virtual input output, which was the virtual point of Airbox on the same machine where the service is running. But now you see a new type, streaming. And as you can see, now we have streaming sources and stream destinations. And this is what makes the Neo Suite into a media gateway. That's why we'll talk more about this workflow. So let's go into inputs. For example, this shows me that I have here some inputs that are not connected. Those are NDI sources. This is a physical input here, the decklink card. This is the virtual input, which is there, box 1 and 2. But you can see here I have stream inputs. Stream 1, stream 2, these are streams that come from another machine here on the network. And for example, if we go, I can give it a title to whatever makes sense to me. I can decide what is the source, what is the program that is sending it, and sorry, these are the inputs on the multiviewer. If I go here to stream sources, this is stream 1, which is on this interface on this port. These are unicast, not multicast, so that's what is selected. As you can see, this is a UDP stream, transport stream over UDP, and the other stream I have is a transport stream over SRT. So yes, we support SRT, as you know from our previous webinars. I can put password encryption, of course, on the source, and of course here I have to type the same password, so it's a completely secure encrypted connection if it's needed. You can do some latency compensation if you want. So I have these two sources. One is UDP, the other one is SRT. I created this loopback sort of a point so I can monitor both of them, and you can see here this destination I'm looping locally, so I can just monitor, because I have to, otherwise I can set in my stream destinations, for example, have a UDP coming in, and I can cross patch it to let's say SRT output and so on, or I can set it up as a distribution point, and I can send one type of stream to different destinations with different wrappers, different transports. Again, if I want to monitor it, I have to decode it, of course, locally. That's why I have this loopback. And if you see here, this is my stream number 1, this is my stream number 2, and I'm monitoring right now on the loopback, my monitoring point. I'm seeing this stream 1 is patched here. How do I patch it? As let me duplicate. I can duplicate the window, sort of. I can have multiple web windows or multiple monitors if you want. So these are my airboxes. I'll just scroll. So this is my loopback point, and these are the two stream 1 and stream 2 sources, right? As you can see, one is PAL 576i, the other one is 1080i source. This one is SRT, this one is UDP. But if I go to my stream destinations, here I can select, let me just expand a little bit this. I'll remove this column. You can decide which columns you want to see. I'll remove it so I have a little bit more. So right now stream 1 is connected to this monitoring point that I have here. But you can see how I can do on-fly switch between what's coming out of this point. This is my output point, destination point that you see. So I can switch different types of input transports to a singular output, sort of converting transport. We do not do re-encoding at this point. This is something that's coming down the line, but we switch transport formats, we switch them, and we can distribute single source to multiple destinations, or vice versa. I can even do these switchings between these two sources to one output. And this output is 10.8 follows, as you can see, whatever this automatically switches to the stream I have set up here. Another part on the stream sources is you can select if it's a multi transport stream, multi-program transport stream, you can select automatically to pick the first program, or you can select which program from the stream. So if you have MPDS coming, you can split it into separate programs and feed them to different destinations. Currently we support UDP, RTP, and SRT. Other formats will follow, but as you did, this pretty much cover a lot of the workflow scenarios you have. So this portion will give you option to set the new suite as this media gateway, where you can do this simple reconversion of transport, like you're receiving SRT, but you want to push UDP locally for reasons to send it to muxers and so on. You can extract certain streams from multi-program streams and route them whatever you need in your system, either ingest them or just send them to a different destination. So this has been really, I'll go back to my single screen. Let me just go like this. Okay. As you can see, all of this, again, I have the information. I can just select, let's say I don't want to see the air boxes right now. I just want to see the streaming sources. Boom, I have it. Again, with all the features that I described, having alarms, being able to define this streaming in and out destinations, use it to monitor, to distribute to different destinations, to extract from a multi-program stream, and so on, all within the same solution, all within one interface. You can see different machines, different servers. For example, this is the local server I have, but you can add more servers, in your network, so you can see them through a same interface. The simplest solution, of course, is when you have sort of channel in a box type of deal. You have this on the same machine like I have it here. You have your airbox, and you can monitor the inputs. Let's say you have 5 inputs. I can see all of the 5 inputs, and I can see the output of my airbox, which will be just a preview, but it can be streaming outputs of the same, or Blackmagic or Aja card, physical card, or NDI, which, as you've seen here, for example, the screen that you're seeing behind me, this is the output. This is the main TV out, which I have the decklink card, and I cross point there the airbox output 1, but I can select output 2 to go there, or I can go and do, let's say, whatever is on the streaming part. I can see it there, the screen behind me, or I can go back to let's say stream 1, actually is stream 2. Now you see stream 2, but I'll still go to my airbox 1 here. Perfect. So as I mentioned, this is all sort of evolving system. Our target is to add all these functionalities in this new suite to act as a central hub of your workflow, where you get the information about all of the incoming, outgoing streams, even from a single server. If you have a single channel in a box, you can see all of this information at a glance. Your live inputs, you can monitor in them. You can monitor all of the outputs, SDI, NDI, or streaming on the same machine. You can check what you're ingesting. Depends on how many licenses you have and how powerful your machine is. Your ingest can be on the same machine in a channel in a box scenario, or if you need, your ingest needs are a little bit larger, you can have just ingest server on the network, but you can control it through the same interface, and you can use the same, obviously, streams and destination sources, route them any way you want. So very, very flexible, very flexible solution. I would like to kind of open the floor for questions and answers, and I will ask you to please use the Q&A form, not the chat, because this way we can all we can see all the questions on the screen, and I can answer them, read them loud for everybody and answer them. Also, my colleagues are online. They will be able to also to help with some questions, to give answer to some questions. If you don't have a specific question right now, but you come up with one later, please don't hesitate to contact us. Our sales guys are, call it sales guy near you. Talk to our broadcast engineers. Hello. So about playlist import from traffic system. PlayBox, I need to know sync between playlist, static list in traffic system. Okay, we have a question. We have a question about importing playlists from traffic system. This is not a subject of our of today's webinar, so please, Mr. Kondo, talk to our to the closest of our offices to you in order to get our engineers will get the information of what system you're trying to synchronize, what type of list you want to import. We have great options to use daily playlists through file playlist converter options and so on. We integrate with a lot of traffic systems, but this is kind of off topic, so I don't want to kind of make it, please contact our sales engineers and they will support you and tell you in your particular scenario what works best. How many streams can server handle? I mean, a lot of streams. Again, we are pure software solutions, but you can see that all the we try to optimize everything to using GPUs and stuff like this. So it can handle a lot. We can handle a lot of streams. The limitation is only your hardware. Again, for a specific scenario, what format streams and whatever you have as a scenario, please talk to our support guys. They will be able to give you the exact answer to your particular system or particular need. Can I export subclip through listbox? I'm not sure I understand. Mr. Muhammad Alam, I'm not sure what you mean. Subclip, you mean a clip that is being splitted in and you want to export the split, please, again, for these are very specific questions. I would like to keep more focused on the new features and stuff that we're discussing to make that more interesting for everybody, and specific workflow scenarios. Please contact our support, our sales reps, and you'll get the training session if needed, or anything like that to help you. As my colleague is answering here, traffic systems usually receive as run log that we generate to reconcile what's been broadcasted versus planned and scheduled. Again, it depends on, again, what your workflow scenarios. It can be set up, and we have thousands of systems working, of course, with traffic systems, communicating both ways. Okay. Also, we'll love to hear from you. Send us an email if there is a specific topic that you're interested into. So we'll make a how-to video, or we'll include it in our next webinar and discuss it. So please keep the communication channels open. Again, we love to see you at the trade shows. We love to see you at these events, but since they're not happening in the last year, we've been doing these webinars, and we're very happy to keep talking with you and sharing what's new, what we sort of worked on whole summer, and what products we can offer, what solutions we can offer for your workflow optimization. Okay. Yes, Mohammed, destination select, it is as a video router. I can show you this here. Let me just close this for a second. If I go here, and for example, this is a physical output, so it's a video card. As you can see, I patch virtual source, but I can patch another physical point here. So for example, now this AB1 live, this is the input of this same decklink card. So if I patch this one, sort of I'm watching the source that is coming into this Airbox 1. And let me just switch somewhere so it's not on, so you can see the difference. I'm not on the live input. So this is a playlist right now. And if I go here and I switch back to my main monitor that you can see on the screen behind me, and I'll switch to the multi-viewer in a second. Let's say let me do the split screen. It's split tabs. All right. As you can see, my multi-viewer. Okay, so I have my just a second. Okay, I have my video. This is the live in, which is a physical port, SDI port on the card. This is the Airbox 1, Airbox 2 sources. So right now the live input is patched to the Airbox 2. On the TV behind me that you can see in my view, I have the Airbox 1 outputting this looping logo black file, right? But if I decide, I can go and switch to have on the monitor. This is just physical destination, the monitor that you see behind me. I can select the live input, and you can see it now. I have what's coming into the server put into the monitor. So it acts as a router. You asking me there is a question, how many frames delay between pass through to program out? I mean, look, we don't, when we patching ins to outs, there's virtually no delay, because we don't decode the stream in order to patch it somewhere. For example, I'm decoding it just to monitor, but physically the stream is just patched directly from one IP destination, if we're talking about IP, to the other, and the same thing. I mean, it's a minimal buffer of a frame or a couple of frames maybe, but not delay like you would have bringing an input, running it through Airbox, where you need to decode it, then you need to do some overlay of graphics and stuff, and then when you re-encode it to output from the system, it's different. There you have some introduction of a little bit of delay, but it's totally normal to. No, when you do SDI, I described, when you have run it through Airbox, there is a delay, of course, because you have to decode the signal, create a buffer, put the graphics on the top of it, and then output it. Through SDI, it's very minimal. Through streaming, you add the delay that is introduced by the encoder. The encoder has some delay, depends on which format, MPEG-2 or H.264. You know, they have different delays, just the buffer of the encoder to be happening. So yes, you have specific delay, but it's first depends on what format. SDI input to SDI output is 1. It's very, very low. If it's SDI to streaming output, what format streaming output, and so on. Yeah, you can have 2-frame delays maybe, of course, because it needs to be decoded and done. I don't know a system that can do this and have 0 delay. So I don't understand what is the 2-frame delay not acceptable to you? And you know a system that can do no delay? There is always delay when you have processing, because it needs to have a buffer of a frame or at least 1 or 2 frames in order to process the picture. You have one for the processing the picture for overlay, and one, let's say, somewhere in the input output buffers, of course. All right. So okay, guys, if you have more questions after this webinar will be available shortly after we finish our second session today. Later on, we're doing another session for the Americas. And after that, we'll post the webinar as you see it on our website and on our YouTube channel. So if you missed something, you can revisit it here and take a look. Again, if you have any questions or any specific questions about your workflow, I urge you to talk to our sales reps and our support. They're always available and they can help you resolve a specific workflow situation with settings, with a little bit training if needed for your personnel to set up and use this feature. So please keep asking us questions. We love that, and we'll keep trying to answer them for you. Thank you very much. Again, thank you, Antonio. Thank you, Mr. Kondo, Mohammed. What is the bit rate for HD streaming? What is the overhead? Again, the system that I'm showing you, this media gateway, just takes streams in one format, repackages it and sends it out. It doesn't do re-encoding. Whatever comes in, that's what comes out. So we don't do encoding at this point in the system. It's just rerouting transports. It will extract one stream, but it will extract it and pass it as is. It's not being decoded and re-encoded at the end. So it is there is no stream encoding happening in the media suite, the media gateway. Can destination work as a video router while I don't have video card? You mean you don't have SDI card? Again, as I showed you, for example, with the stream destinations, I have a loopback point, which sort of I can route here either stream. Let me just move this because I can route stream 1 or stream 2 to my loopback point, as you can see here. And again, yes, I mean, the destinations can be streaming points, NDI. If you don't have a physical SDI card, you can use NDI in your local network as a means of infrastructure. And in this case, I'm switching 2 different streams to one point that I can send somewhere. Look, currently, I'm not sending anywhere. I'm just looping back to myself so I can have this point. But yes, you can have it to any of this. No need for actual SDI card to be present in the system. Maybe you don't use SDI at all in your workflow, so that's perfectly fine. It's all covered as a workflow. All right. Again, I will wrap up this. I will wrap up this conversation, and I'll expect to see you guys at our next webinar. You'll get notification for this. Check out our website. Keep an eye on our YouTube channel. Today's presentations will be posted on the YouTube channel shortly, maybe tomorrow or after tomorrow, once we finish the second session of our webinars today. And if you have any questions in the meantime, please send it. If you have any suggestions for topics, something that's interesting for you, please send it to us. We'll be glad to include them in our next webinars. We'll address the issues. Or if you have a specific question about specific workflow, please contact our support. They will be able to help you to resolve it and set up everything for your specific type of needs. I wish you a wonderful day, and I hope to see you again very soon. And of course, I hope to see you at in person at CAPSAT or IBC shows later this year. Have a good day. Bye-bye.